What's up, guys? It's Deceiver here. Want to talk about my add-ons that I'm using in Legion. So the very first thing I'm going to talk about is my add-on LVUI. It's a very popular add-on that does a lot of different things and gives you a lot of different customization. Almost everything you see here is from LVUI other than maybe the quest stuff. All the rest, LVUI. So if you go in here, you can customize tons of different things. You can customize your action bars, your bags. I've got my bags turned off, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. I've got my buffs turned off. Customize your chat, your nameplates and unit frames. You can see I've customized here, and you can do a lot of different things with this. As you can see here, you can move almost everything on the screen through this, and there is another add-on that I'm going to be talking about that lets you move everything else. So I'm going to be moving through these pretty quickly because there are 13 different add-ons. The next add-on I'm going to be talking about is ADI bags. Now there's a lot of different bag add-ons, and I can't find a whole lot of them that I really like because it just stacks them all together and it makes it really hard for me to find stuff that I need. But this one actually separates it into the way that your bags are already separated. So you've got weapons, recipe, trade skill, consumable, miscellaneous, junk, which I don't know why my Hearthstone is in the junk section, and then it condenses all your free bag spaces into different. So your bags, this actual panel grows as you have more stuff in your bag and shrinks as it gets smaller. You can customize it pretty much better than any other bag add-on that I've seen. Plus it tracks all of your different currencies in the bottom, which is very useful so that you don't have to open up your character panel and go through all that dumb shit to do to look at it. Moving on to the next. So the next add-on that I use is called Auctionator. It's pretty popular as well. It's probably the best auction helping add-on that I've seen so far. You scan through the whole auction house and it gives you the prices of everything. Pretty basic, pretty simple. Just makes it a little bit easier for selling and buying different things. And our fourth one is going to be AutoLoot. It just helps out a little bit to be able to loot everything. Not to mention, even looting the trash gives you a decent amount of gold over time. So I'd go ahead and loot everything. I'm pretty sure Blizzard has their own little auto loot option that you can enable, but I went ahead and downloaded this just because it makes it a little bit easier. And for my fifth add-on, it is going to be Bigwigs. A lot of people use Deadly Boss mods, and I used to use it as well, but it takes up a lot of space in the WoW interface or whatever. Like, it takes up a lot of megabytes, and Bigwigs is a little bit lighter, and I actually like the way that it shows everything a little bit better. I recommend, if you're using Deadly Boss mods, to try out Bigwigs and see what you think of it. I personally like it, and it's a little bit more customizable. The next add-on that I use is called Raven, and this is to track my buffs and debuffs. I can put them anywhere on my screen, it was kind of a hassle when I was using Blizzards. I could move them around my screen, but they weren't doing exactly what I wanted them to. So on this one, I can track what buffs are on mine in pretty big, bold things. I can track my debuffs, and I can track my target's debuffs as well, or buffs. Right now I don't want to clutter my screen with a whole bunch of buffs and debuffs, so I'm only tracking my buffs and debuffs and the target's debuffs. I don't really care what buffs they have because I'm not using any kind of dispel or anything on my monk. So yeah, I actually like this. It's a little bit more customizable, and it works on top of another mod that I'm going to be talking about. The next one I want to talk about is called Fishing Buddy, and that's just for if you like fishing. Really, that's not for everybody, but it makes it to where it tracks what things you can catch in the area that you're fishing in. It makes it to where you can click cast for fishing when you have your fishing pole equipped and you're next to water. You can just double right click and it'll cast automatically, so you can cast over and over really easily. And it also makes it to where you can set it to where you cast a line even if your fishing pole isn't equipped. As you can see here, I've got my weapons equipped, but I can cast my fishing pole by clicking shift and right click. So that might be a little bit useful for some of you fishers that don't like having to switch between your weapons and your fishing poles over and over. The next one that I want to talk about is Gladius. That is my PvP add-on that tracks for Arena. It tracks here on the side. I have the default ones turned off. It shows a little bit better the different things that the targets are doing. Is mostly the trinkets. It shows if those are up or not. It's a little bit more customizable than the basic one, and it just helps out a whole lot in PvP. I'm not going to go into an actual match right now and show you guys, but if you want to know a little bit more about that, maybe I'll talk about it in a future video. Next one I want to talk about is Handy Notes Legion. Basically this is just so you can find the different rare mobs and treasures in the world. It makes it so much easier to be able to find these things. You can see them all over my map here. It's always a really good add-on. I've had it ever since I can remember, really. But yeah, it just it tracks all the different treasures so that you can get your artifact power and all the other stuff, and it tracks all the different rare mobs so that you can kill them and get the loot that they have as well. Just a good little handy add-on to have. The next add-on I want to talk about is Skada Damage Meter. A lot of you have probably already heard of this. It's just like Recount, except better in my opinion. It's a little more simple to use. It's a little more customizable, I'm pretty sure, and it's a lot more lightweight than Recount is. You can see it here in the bottom. You can customize it to. It works really well with LVUI, so that's why I prefer it over Recount, and it just looks better in general to me. But that's up to you guys which one you like better. Personally, I like Skada. Just my opinion. Now we have the infamous, how do you say that? Infamous weak auras. It's an add-on that a lot of people don't like because it takes a lot to customize yourself, but there's an easy way that you can just steal other people's weak auras and use them. That's what I did because I don't have the time to sit here and customize them myself. So this is the one that I found. I really like it. It tracks when my Touch of Death is up. It tracks when Rising Sun Kick, Fist of Fury, and my artifact ability is up. It tracks when Touch of Karma is up. It tracks when Earth, Wind, and Fire are up. It tracks when Whirling Dragon Punch is up. And I believe that, what is this one? I'm not I can't remember which thing this is, but I know it's important. I know what it is when I'm fighting, I just don't know what it is right now. But either way, weak auras is very useful. It makes it to where you don't have to look down at your bars very often. You can just look at it and know how much energy you have, chi you have, depending on what your class is. There are weak auras out there. I forgot I was queued for a dungeon. But there are weak auras out there for every class, and there is good ones. You just need to look for them. You just type it in for your class and you should be able to find some. And the cool thing is you can take what you like from the weak auras that you find, and you can delete ones that you don't, parts that you don't want. I like this one. It's really simple and not confusing at all. It just tells me the cooldowns of my abilities and tells me when they're going to be back up. I like it. I definitely recommend it. The other one that you can use is called, what is it? Tell Me When. You can use Tell Me When as well, but I don't like the way that it's set up as much. I tried it out. I've tried tons of different add-ons, and so far, the ones I'm showing in this video are the best ones that I've found and the most useful. And the last one that I'm going to talk about, and probably the most important in this expansion, is World Quest Tracker. Everybody is using this right now. If you're not using it, then you're probably missing out. It shows you all the different world quests that are available for you on the side of your screen here. It shows me exactly where they are on my map. It gives me a tracker on the side under my objectives, and when I'm in that area, a little arrow will pop up and show me where to go to get to it. Also, it shows you your daily ones. You can also filter which ones you want to see if you don't need certain world quests. It'll show you like the different ones that are useful for you. So right now that's all the world quests that I've got. I've done probably about 10 today already, and there's still quite a few left. I'm just being lazy and don't really feel like doing it. I just got this monk to level 110 yesterday, and she's looking pretty sexy so far, but she's not geared up yet, and I've still got to keep working on her. Just as a bonus note, Move Anything is a pretty decent add-on for things that you can't move with LVI. There are a few things. I think there was like 2 different things that I couldn't move with LVI, such as my when I'm dead, my resurrection thing. I couldn't move that with LVI, and there was one more thing I can't remember. So it's useful to have. It's lightweight, and you barely even notice that it's there. But yeah, guys, that is my list of different add-ons that I use in WoW Legion. There are a few other ones that are useful, but this is what I've found personally good for me. And I have downloaded a lot of add-ons and deleted a lot of add-ons, and these are the ones that I personally like. 13 of them. So if you guys want to know a little bit more on how to use some of these add-ons, a guide on how to use some of the different add-ons, then let me know in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.